Got a million ideas, but still feel stuck? Are you working hard and not getting any traction? Well, welcome to From Spaghetti to Strategy, show for creatives and entrepreneurs tired of spinning their wheels. This show has no fluff, no hype, just real conversations, practical strategies, and the blunt reality you need to hear. Because ideas don't work until you do. My name is Gregg Lawrence. I am the founder of Impact Marketing Consulting, and joining me is my good friend Bill.
Hey everybody, I'm Bill Walker, the founder of Creators Create, and today we're going to be talking about why most creative businesses stay stuck in spaghetti mode. So, Greg, what is spaghetti?
Spaghetti is chaos. Spaghetti is a plate of noodles, everything going every which way, sauce, meatballs, whatever, just chaos. Delicious, but chaotic.
Okay, well then what's strategy?
Strategy is taking that chaos and putting it to use. Strategy is focus. Strategy is coming up with a plan. Strategy is coming up with an idea of how to take those ideas and turn them into something that works, something effective, right? And we're going to talk strategies. There's a lot to it, and we're going to get into that.
So then what's spaghetti to strategy?
Spaghetti 2 strategy is taking the chaos, building a roadmap, building focus so that you can achieve a goal. And that's really what we want to talk about a lot on this show, how to go from that chaos to a roadmap. So you've created the Create OS. What is your number one most important thing to go from spaghetti to strategy that you teach your
My peeps?
peeps,
Yep.
your community? That's
My
what I was
community.
looking for.
Well, you start at the beginning, and that's choosing. So if we take your little thing about spaghetti being all messy, covered with sauce and getting all over your face and down your shirt and cleaning up after it, which is, messes up your rag when you're doing the dishes from cleaning up after spaghetti. Man, you got to choose. And a creative person, no matter what discipline of creativity they're using, has a brain full of creative ideas, a brain that can't stop coming up with creative ideas, and a brain that thinks somehow, even though it's wrong, thinks that you can work on multiple ideas at once. That's what it tries to do. It tries to take you down a path of 5 or 6 or 7 ideas all at the same time. So that's
Just
a
5
problem.
or 6.
Well, no, I mean, it could be 100. Because every day a creative probably has 5 or 10 ideas.
So what do you suggest? I mean, you said choose.
You got to choose.
How are you going to choose? And are you talking about choosing just a few things to focus on, or explain that to me a little bit more?
Well, I guess I'm gonna just to get out of the spaghetti mode is what do I want to have happen? And if the answer is that I want to have a creative business that's sustainable and profitable, the first thing I need to do is choose the idea or the project that is going to most effectively get me to my business goal. And I'm going to choose one, not 5, not 3, not even 2, but I'm going to choose one idea. Now, the other thing I will tell people is that if they've been doing this a while, that you might be able to run 2 ideas simultaneously. As long if one's a really big idea and one's a smaller idea. But you're not going to be able to do 10 ideas. Like, you can't write a feature film and develop a carpet cleaning business and record a CD and paint the next Mona Lisa all at the same time. There's not enough hours in the day. So you got to choose.
There's not enough days in a year.
There's not enough days in a lifetime.
Yeah. I would like to bring up a little story we talked about. So Bill and I have known each other for over 30 years. So we know a lot of, we've seen a lot of stuff. We know a lot of the same people. We have an acquaintance.
He's a friend. We've got a friend. No, we have a friend.
He's great. He's got ideas. We talk about ideas, he's got so many ideas.
And he's the most generous person I know.
Oh, he's awesome. He's the nicest guy ever. And he came up with an idea, and he was kind enough to bring us in to work this idea with him. And I thought it was a fantastic idea. And
it's still a fantastic idea.
It is, yeah. And it would have global impact. It would have made so many people millions of dollars in reality.
Tens of millions.
Yes. And he had another idea. of a local, very smaller, localized business. And he had a bunch of other ideas, but we're going to just talk about these two, just two. One that would have huge impact and help a lot of people become super wealthy, and another one that
And provide a valuable service to the planet.
absolutely. And this other local idea that it'd be fine for some people, and he
Bring you
had
in
it,
thousands.
yeah. And
Just
he focused most of its attention because he did not come up with a clear strategy. He figured the smaller business somehow would feed the large global one. And his time, his attention, his resources were split. He did not have a clear path. And what happened, Bill?
Well, and we got to go back up. The first thing that happened is he came into a bunch of money.
Yes.
And
he had the resources.
So he had resources. And with the resources, he could have put maybe a fourth of the resources into this big, ginormous global impact idea. And by the time we would have drained the money, that business would have been growing and self-sufficient. But instead, he dumped almost all of the resources into this itty bitty business, which turned out to be a money suck, and consumed all of the money until both businesses went broke. And it gets even worse. And in the meantime, he had like another 200 ideas.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, this is going to be a tad bit of a diversion, but it's really relevant. The absolute worst advice that they program us with growing up is diversification. That is the most stupid idea in history. And if you look at successful business owners, Zuckerberg made his fortune doing Facebook. Steve Jobs made his fortune with Apple. The only person who diversified at all, if you want to look at it that way, is Warren Buffett. But he focused all of his resources into helping other businesses because that was his business, was investment. But it was all done within one company under one set of guidelines. But Ford made his money with a Model T. It was all focused into one idea. The channeling of time and money and manpower went into one idea. And the problem the creatives have, including our friend, is too many ideas. And if you put $20 into 10 projects, that's not nearly as valuable as it would be putting $200 into one project. What are your thoughts on that?
I think putting $200 into one thing is way better than $20 into 10 things. But yeah,
you get the idea, right?
We need to choose, like you said, you need to choose one thing and focus on it. And that means not just this idea, but that means you put your time, your energy, resources into completing a single idea, single project. Once that's done, and then you want to move on to the next one, absolutely. If our friend had focused on everything on the one project, once that was done or self-sufficient, by all means, move on to the next idea.
Yeah, move on to the next one.
What we want people to do.
So, what do? We have too many ideas. How do we choose, and what do we do with the rest of the ideas?
Right. And we're going to talk more about this in the future, but we're going to talk about it now because it's very important. It is a key part of choosing, and that is you've got all these great ideas. We don't want you to forget them. We don't want you to lose them. We want you to own them, retain them. And Bill came up with an idea, what he calls the future list. You want to tell us what that means, Bill?
Yeah, the future list is where great ideas go to wait. That way you don't forget them. No, not to die, but to wait their turn. So here's an example. I'm a pretty creative person. I've spent the last 50 years as a pianist, spent the last 20 years teaching piano. I've written a book, done some painting, so I'm pretty creative. And I can still only work on one creative project at a time. I want to write another book. But I can't be writing my book and playing the piano, recording a new CD at the same time. That's just a dumb way for ideas to die. Right? Dumb ways to die? It's a dumb way for your idea to die. So I have a future list. I've got all these things on my list. Right now, my primary goal, which I'm going to call a primary quest, the thing that I'm working on is to help 10,000 independent creatives build profitable and sustainable businesses. And while I'm focusing on helping other people, my idea of writing another book or recording another CD is just going to have to wait a little bit because I got to focus all my attention on creating a business that can help these people. And part of this show is us helping all of you independent creatives out there. And what we're doing first is we're going to take all this spaghetti and we're going to help you choose. Just choose just one thing. Right, Greg?
Absolutely. I want to expand a little bit more on the future list.
Okay.
I've been doing, before you coined the idea of the phrase, the future list, I've got a to-do list. I've been making to-do lists for as long as I can remember because it helps keep me focused.
No, they're called honeydew lists.
That's a whole different list.
Oh, okay.
My to-do list.
Your professional to-do list.
Yeah. It
Okay.
incorporated what you refer to as a future list. For me, if I had a thought or an idea, I'd put it on my list, right? Because I don't want to forget. I need to get around to it. And what I've found, and it's kind of funny, is most people have a to-do list, and as they work on it, it shrinks. Not mine. My to-do list, even though I'm working on it and checking things off, it grows, and it's growing, and it's growing. I actually have it on an Excel spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet's getting very, very long because when I have a thought or an idea, I put it on my to-do list because I don't want to forget.
And you're honoring your idea that way.
Yes, and so I guess I could refer to that because it's my future list. But back to your example, Bill, I think personally, I think he's brilliant. I love the music that he creates. He wants to write a book. If he has an idea for a book, he could put a title down, but then he's thinking and he's working, and all of a sudden he has an idea. Ooh, I could introduce this character. And this is what happens. And here's an idea for a chapter. Or here's an idea for an intro. It's really easy to say, well, I don't want to forget all these ideas. I'm going to start writing the book in my spare time while I'm trying to do this. We all fall into that kind of trap. Don't do it. Jot down your little ideas. Okay, here's a character idea, and just backburner it. Because if you try to do two things, you're going to end up with 2 failed businesses or 3 failed businesses. It's just reality. It's just the way it is. Again, like I said, we're going to give you some blunt realities. We do not want anybody to abandon their ideas, abandon their passion. Quite the opposite. We want you to take your ideas and bring them out into the world and share them with everybody. But you can't do that if you're trying to do 15 things at once.
No. So can I interrupt for just a second? So the book, I do. So before Greg and I had the idea for the Spaghetti to Strategy show, I had designed a series of 5 books to help independent creatives, starting at what I thought would be the easiest thing for an independent creative to do to the most complicated thing for an independent creative to do, where you really get into the business things. And that's on my future list, these set of 5 books. Then we have this show, and I got another idea. It's to do a book called From Spaghetti to Strategy, written with Greg. So guess what? That is now actually going to be a higher priority on my list than the 5-book series that I had planned on doing alone. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to get to these books that I want to do alone. I just think that when it comes time to get to another quest, that this Spaghetti to Strategy book is going to be in front of this other series of books. And while Greg doesn't know it yet, it needs to come before I move to Alaska. Because once I get into Alaska and get my studio built and get my great big grand piano put into a place where I can record at home, then getting back to recording CDs are going to be my creative priorities for a little while outside of running this business. And so that series of 5 books, I mean, that may end up being delayed 5 years or 6 years because there's other things that are going to become priorities. But I would forget all these ideas if I didn't put them on my future list. And I don't care how big that list gets. Here's my own personal opinion. In my framework called the Create OS, or the Create Operating System, we run these quests or these primary focuses on 6-month timeframes. And I believe that in one 6-month time frame, a creative will have more ideas than they can possibly do in one lifetime. And then if they run the Create OS again for another 6-month time frame, you're going to create another set of ideas that can't be completed in a second lifetime. Because that's just the way creatives operate. And that's why we live in spaghetti.
Yes. And this is one thing I think creatives, all of us, we need to understand and accept exactly what Bill said. You are going to have more ideas by far that you think are fantastic, awesome, than you will ever be able to complete in your lifetime. And you need to understand that and accept that. And by choosing one thing and putting other stuff on back burner for the future list, you will prioritize. Once you complete your current goal, like Bill says in the OS, he calls it a quest. Once that's done, you're going to go to your list and you're going to decide what's got the highest priority. And what might have seemed like the highest priority 3 months ago is not the highest priority when you're ready to move on to the next thing. I'm going to pause right here just for a minute in case Bill wants to edit this out because he doesn't know I'm going to say it. But I love the music he creates. And if you go check out Bill Walker on Spotify, Age of Discovery, I still think it's fantastic. And I'm pausing because he might want to delete this because he's not a big fan.
It's on Spotify and somebody put it up without my permission. And I haven't had time to deal with it yet. But thank you.
But the music's there and I love it. And if you want to delete that.
No, I'll leave it in.
Okay.
I'll leave it in.
So back to you. So we understand you've got to focus on one thing. You've got to choose one primary quest, as we call it in the Create OS. We've talked about how to deal with all the ideas, the spaghetti that's going to come. Back burner that. Don't forget it. Don't eliminate it. But now, Bill, talk to us about choose. What do you mean when you say focus on just one thing? You explain how that works in your time frame, your Create OS time frame.
All right. So step one is choose. And so what you have to do is you have to choose one primary quest and you have to commit to this entire time frame of 6 months. All the other steps in Create we'll get to another day. Choosing. So for me, let's say I'm writing a book and I'm just beginning to write my book. I'm going to focus on writing this book for 6 months because I'm writing an epic fantasy book and I can't get it done in 6 months. It's going to take me 12 months. So I'm going to determine how much of this I can get done in 6 months. And I'm going to look at, like, say, 6 milestones. Where do I need to be at the end of the first month? We're going to work backwards. Where do I want to be at the end of the 6 months? And then what's the milestone to hit at 5 months? And the milestone to hit at 4 months and so forth, back to 1 month. And once you have that, then you can start on what are the immediate tasks that I can do. So since this is an epic fantasy that I've just came up with, maybe my first task is which age group of people do I want to write this book for? So I chose epic fantasy. So I'm thinking Lord of the Rings, The Wheel of Time, my mom's trilogy called The Walker Inscription. So targeted for young adults, but adults are going to read it. Overachieving teenagers are going to read it. Then once I do that, then I'm like, okay, well, who do I want my protagonist to be? Now, if I'm going to be a musician again, how many pieces of music do I want to create? Who's this for? What? And I do this one all the time. How many songs do I want on it? What length? Like in today's world, back up. So Greg and I grew up in the 80s, like the best music time ever.
We're old.
Yeah, we're old. So we grew up in the 80s. A lot of albums were a half an hour, right? You press 15 minutes onto side A. You had press 15 minutes onto side B. The record labels are going to release the first track as the first single, most likely, or they'll release the title track as a single. We're all going to hurry and rush to figure out to go buy this thing so then we can put it on a tape, which none of us ever did because that would be violating copyright law and we don't want to do that. But now that we have digital recording, I think 30-minute albums are too short. My music is generally around 5 or 6 minutes. So if I'm doing a six-minute piece of music and I want to do a 60-minute album, then I'm going to need 10 pieces of music. For the books of sheet music that I've published, I determined that I was going to put 12 pieces in. Try to get it around 100 to 120 pages. Now that I know what my goal is, I can start deconstructing that to what I need to do today. And I'm going to go to my good friend Greg, who's my marketing expert, to help me come up with a strategy behind that.
See, that's just it. You're already describing exactly what we're talking about. You already are forming a strategy, right? Strategy is not just one thing. It's a lot of things, and you're already doing that when you say, okay, and we're going to talk about this more. It's called reverse engineering. It's the second step after you choose, and I think we'll talk about that a lot more next week. But building a strategy is it's not a single thing. It's building a roadmap. It's saying, okay, this is where I want to end up. I'm in LA. I want to end up in New York. I'm not sure why, but anyway, you don't just say, well,
3,000 miles. Why not?
yeah, you don't just get in the car and start driving. You got to have an idea, a plan, a roadmap, right? And there will be a lot of stops on the way and things that will happen along the way, and you'll make adjustments, but you've got a basic roadmap. And that's what strategy is.
Yeah, but see, the strategy doesn't even matter if you can't choose.
Exactly.
Which is why you have to start with choose.
Yeah. If you're in LA and you say, okay, I'm heading out, where are you going? I don't know.
Okay, let's stop. We're not going to use LA. We're going to use Phoenix. We're in Phoenix, and my destination is Alaska.
There you go.
And we haven't left yet. I want to in the next year or two. But I'm already starting to think of a strategy on how I get me, my wife, and all of our belongings from Phoenix to Homer, Alaska. And there will be all kinds of detours on the way because, it's 3,800 miles on the road system between here and Homer. We just want to do that with your creative business.
Yep.
So, this is actually a good place to bring it home, right? Have I hammered on choose enough yet, or do I need to go harder?
Nope. I think we've got to figure it out. You need to choose one thing, focus on that one thing, future list, back burner, everything else. And then the next step is reverse engineer, which we're going to talk about next week.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us on our inaugural show. I promise we'll get better. We're still learning.
Oh, yeah.
But I hope you go on this journey with us. And here's the cool thing. So let's say you're with us now. Thank you very much. If you're not with us now and you find us later, if you find us after show 20 and you decided to binge us from the beginning, hopefully you can see this process of evolution of show production, show content, show flow, our ability to talk to a camera. Because let me tell you, it's a little awkward now.
Very much so. You wouldn't think it would be.
But it is.
Yeah.
But we're doing it because it's important to us, because we want to help you guys really genuinely go from spaghetti to strategy and to develop your businesses so they're sustainable and profitable.
Absolutely.
Any parting words?
Thanks for joining us. Tell your friends, and
we'll see you in the next episode.
Sounds good.